Tell me when. First of all, I'm going to start. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm
With
glad-
your mask.
First time I'm wearing a mask.
I know, I can't believe it. I walk into the room and I'm seeing you with a mask. It's like, what is going on? Finally, you're following the rules.
It makes me feel like a West Texas bandit.
Like a band-aid.
Band-aid. Okay. So I don't like talking like this. So anyway, I wanted to set a good
And
example.
I don't want to cover my pretty face.
I wanted to set a good example. Speaking of masks,
Monday started.
yeah, there's a lot of
Officially again.
yeah, there's a lot of controversy about masks,
Mhm.
but I have come to the conclusion that I don't want government forcing me to do something, but I do appreciate government giving me the details and the scientific data
Yeah.
and encouraging me to do the right thing. So that's why I went and bought a mask. I spent $6 plus tax for this mask.
$6?
That's not the emphasis. Did you hear me? $6
Uh-huh.
plus tax.
Wow. Plus tax.
Why
Okay.
is government taxing us in the middle of a pandemic? Millions of Americans and millions of Texans unemployed, right? And so now they're forcing you to go buy a mask. But on top of that, they're taxing you.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't they institute a tax holiday?
Totally agree.
A family of 6,
Okay, but
mom and dad unemployed.
But when you say a tax-free, you mean of what exactly? Only for the mask?
Well, I would say personal protective equipment. So if a family wants to buy gloves and masks, they ought to be tax-free during a pandemic when government mandates that you buy them. Because if a family of 5 or 6, dad, mom unemployed, tough economic times, 6 times 6, $36 if you buy the, this kind, the cloth kind.
And I have these
It's
disposable
symbol-
ones that you have to wear like every day. So every day
you gotta
you
throw 'em
need a
away.
new one.
Yeah.
So you need like a big supply for every month.
So why
And that's
doesn't-
expensive.
So why doesn't government help the working people or the unemployed working people and declare a tax holiday on the masks? So that's like my big push this week. So I'm interested to know what you folks think.
Well, good morning, everybody. First of all, we started just right away with a mask. But good morning. Thanks for being with us in our weekly TLC Live.
What is TLC?
TLC, Texas Latino Conservatives Live. We're streaming in Facebook and YouTube. We started like a month ago, streaming in, or more than a month, like 2 months, streaming in both platforms. We need for sure you guys to subscribe in our channel. That way we can have more viewers, more followers, more traffic, and getting big, our family with you guys. But it's good to see you guys, and it was raining like crazy this morning.
We need the rain.
We need the rain for sure to, it clears the day, clears the environment.
It's not going to clear the dust storm that's coming this weekend.
Correct. You know who,
It's one of the biggest.
you know who
dust-
texted me yesterday?
Who?
Mario Gomez.
Oh, Mario Gomez, our weatherman. He would be great to,
We need to have him,
Yeah,
yeah.
and find out about these dust storms.
And I told him, we need to have you back in our Facebook Live or now TLC Live.
Or for people that don't know who Mario Gomez is, in Houston, Texas, Mario Gomez was the KHOU Channel 11 weathercaster for many years.
For 35 years.
Yeah, and he's also a veteran of the United States Air Force, and so Mario and I have become, and Andrea have become friends, and from time to time we have him on this program. So that's who Mario Gomez
So
is.
he texted me yesterday, please be careful, and he sent me all the update, and it's like, it's so glad to have a friend that is a meteorologist, and he keep you update and
Meteorologist.
Meteorologist.
Excellent.
Meteorologist.
Excellent. That was excellent pronunciation.
I've been learning a lot. I've been like quite 23 years in this country, but since I'm like doing the Facebook Live with you, I've been learning a lot of English.
She's doing
good. More than in English, I've been learning the pronunciation.
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 Yeah. And it's fun because I'm bilingual, as you know. My first language is Spanish, but now I know English a little better. My wife is a former English teacher, I don't know why I'm sharing these personal stories, but I get a kick
Okay.
out of.
It's okay.
cor-
We wait till people start connecting
I get a
and,
kick out of.
engaging.
I get a kick out of correcting my wife's English.
Okay, wait. So she used to be an English teacher,
Teacher.
and you correct her English?
I correct people's English all
Oh,
the
you
time.
know what? So now I don't feel bad because
No.
her, English is her first language. English is my second language.
Me too.
I barely speak English, and I speak very good Spanish. But if you correct your wife that she was born in this country, her first language is English, or her only language is English, and also she was an English teacher, that doesn't make me feel that bad.
Good. So we make a good team because my Spanish is a little rusty, her English is a little rusty, but together it's like pretty darn
Very
good.
rusty,
Yeah.
very rusty.
So anyway, yes, welcome to our weekly Texas Latino Conservatives Facebook Live, and I understand that we are now on YouTube Live. Is that right, Mr. Producer? He's shaking his head, yes. We're growing. We are growing in membership. We're growing in donations. We're growing in the number of activities that we are engaged in, and we are engaged in a lot of activities. We publish a newsletter called El Chisme, which in English means
The gossip.
the gossip,
The
the
gossip.
rumor. But El Chisme is very important in the Hispanic culture because every country, whether it's Mexico, or Nicaragua, or Salvador,
Colombia.
Dominican Republic, Cuba, we all have a El Chisme.
We love chismes.
Yeah, so that's our newsletter. We have Facebook Live. We help candidates. We have a series of seminars throughout the state of Texas where we help young Latino conservatives launch their political careers, encourage them to run for school board, for mud districts, for president of the civic club, to become precinct chairs, to become leaders in the conservative movement in politics in Texas. And Andrea, what I've discovered is that there are literally hundreds of thousands of Hispanic conservatives. You know, when we first started this, I thought, well, this is going to be really hard because
Really tough.
the media and everybody thinks that Latinos are all liberal Democrats. And are you amazed at how many conservative young people there are?
I'm not only amazed with that, Orlando, but I keep sharing with you off the camera and also in the camera that I'm always keep up with all the social media of the Spanish media, because the Spanish media post a lot of, all the stories that they cover about immigration or about the president of the United States or everything that has to do, but they always, and instead of being very objective, that's what you said?
Objective.
Objective, they take sides,
Right.
and it's.
Wait, you think the media takes sides?
Oh yes, no, I'm not think, I'm sure.
Oh
So it's
my
so
God.
clear that they take sides, and you know what? It's funny, reading if you get the time to start reading all the messages, and I was reading yesterday because they post something about Joe Biden, and everybody was attacking that TV station.
Well, what? Oh, I see.
So
Okay,
they
so
were-
you went to a website for a
No,
major
I
network.
went to Facebook. I
Oh,
went to
Facebook.
Facebook. And the network, the National Spanish Media,
Which will go unnamed.
should I say that? No. I don't want to say the name.
Don't promote
No,
'em.
I don't say the name.
There's
But
only two, so
the
use a
national,
50-50.
it was not the local station, it was the national, the network.
Yeah.
So apparently Joe Biden did an exclusive message. So, he made an exclusive message for the Latinos after DACA, because DACA was last week, it was the Supreme Court, just to say that DACA is still alive. And so after DACA, so Joe Biden came and he said, and he gave like a 1.5 minute message, just exclusive. And that's how the anchor announced it. We have Joe Biden exclusive for our network talking about, and this is a message for the Latinos, for the Hispanic about DACA and immigration in general. And here we go. You can see Joe Biden, and people can, it's easy to find out. So it is like with subtitles.
We should have put it up today.
I know, right?
But that's okay, tell us
that's
about
fine.
it.
So you can see Joe Biden, of course, speaking English, but with the subtitles in Spanish, and you can tell that he's reading a teleprompter. He's not really, like being himself. I mean, it doesn't look natural. He's reading the teleprompter. And people are not dumb. People realize he's reading a teleprompter and he's very paused. And sometimes he's
Well,
like,
we Latinos are tough.
oh my God, they attack him and the network, that TV station, like, and I was like, I can't believe it.
Wait,
You
because
know?
the man's reading a teleprompter?
No, not because only that, because the message, Joe Biden, as I think everybody knows, that Joe Biden was the former vice president from Barack Obama administration.
He doesn't remember that.
Oh my God. So you know what? So he was talking about immigration. So people was attacking him. It's like, so excuse me, Mr. Biden, you didn't do anything during Obama administration with Obama.
Now he's our friend.
Yeah, and now you're telling us that you're going to do something if you become a president. And then, excuse me, Mr. Biden, you did a deportation of more than 3 million.
The deporter in chief.
Yeah. And you deported more than 3 million Latinos under Barack Obama administration. You guys didn't do anything. You guys didn't promise. You guys promised immigration reform, and you didn't do anything. So really? And now you're telling us this? Well, no, thank you. I was like reading, and it was hundreds messages.
Yeah.
And it was like, so you know what is so bad that I saw it, that this network assumed that because Joe Biden is saying something about immigration, all Latinos are like, yes,
Yeah, right.
wow,
Whoa.
bravo. Like, no, that 80% or plus 80%, but at least, I'm just being conservative because I couldn't read more than 3,000 or 300 messages. But I said like 80% was attacking Joe Biden, attacking the Obama administration, attacking that network, and that tells you a lot. And I wish really that we can have those people following us and listening what we're saying.
So, boy, you said a lot.
I need water.
Take a breath.
I need water now. And I said it in English.
What's very interesting, and I have lived in the United States since I emigrated in 1962. May 14th, 1962, I emigrated to this great country from a communist country, Cuba. And obviously, I still think and firmly believe that this is the greatest country in the world. I said the greatest country in the world. I didn't say we're perfect, because if I remember correctly, in the Declaration of Independence, the words to create a more perfect union, right? That was the whole purpose that the founders came to America in search of a more perfect union. So we're not perfect. We have civil rights.
Nobody's perfect, and
Exactly.
nothing is perfect.
Exactly.
In this world.
We have civil rights issues. We've struggled with those since 1800s, when the Republican Party was founded for one purpose and one purpose only. Do you know what that was? For the elimination and the abolishment of slavery in America. That's the whole reason the Republican Party was founded. I'm real interested now.
People don't know, or
people don't know.
realize.
No, people aren't taught that in schools, because our schools and universities have been infiltrated by the Marxist leftists that are seen on the media every night. The Marxist, Leninist, revolutionaries have taken over our institutions of higher learning. So when these kids come home and they talk about, to tell their parents that they're going to go to participate in Occupy Wall Street or Occupy Seattle or Occupy all these cities that are now being occupied, where do these kids learn this? They learn it at colleges and universities by the leftist Marxists. Now, people criticize me, say, well, universities are places where broad ideas should be discussed. I agree with that. We should discuss Marxist, Leninist. We should discuss democracy, freedom, classical liberalism, conservatism. But the problem is, the latter is never allowed to be discussed. When a conservative speaker comes to a university, they're egged, tomatoes are thrown at them, they're assaulted, and the board of regents of the universities cave and run off the conservative speakers. So the only people that come speak are the radical Marxist leftists that have infiltrated this country. I'm serious about that. A lot of you folks may think I'm a nut, but I came from a communist country. I know how this works. And unfortunately, and here's where I'm going to upset the conservative leaders of the state of Texas. For the past 25 years or 20 plus years, conservatives have led the state of Texas. Who funds public universities in the state of Texas? Conservative leadership. Why don't they have a serious conversation with the members of the Board of Regents and the chancellors of these universities saying, look, we don't mind you inviting Che Guevaras from Latin America to talk to our students. We don't mind you inviting the Fidel Castros and the Sandinistas to your university to talk to our students. But you should also let the classic conservatives come in and talk to students. So conservatives are shut out, the liberal left is allowed in.
Wow.
Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Okay.
But
So
it's,
we have no one to blame but ourselves as taxpayers who sit by and watch this play out before our very eyes.
I'm talking about taxpayers, so you started, you know, for people that just tune with us, we started with the mask because now it's a mandatory from last Monday
Yep.
till apparently June 30th. So here we go again. So we go with the mask.
Yep.
Here we go again. So people are talking and saying like, oh, we're gonna go in lockdown again. Here we go again. I've been hearing all my friends, owners of restaurants, that it started Monday, even though it started Sunday, the numbers of the people going to restaurants start slowing down. And it's nothing to do with the rain. It's because we start, you know, Governor Greg Abbott started talking about the cases, that it went crazy, like 5,000 in only 24 hours, 48 hours. So people start like getting in panic again. So you were talking about no tax on the tax holiday, but no tax holiday in everything, because I'm going to share something with you what president of my country, Ivan Duque, did. So
Is he a Republican, conservative?
he is conservative, yeah, he
Okay.
is a conservative,
All right.
but this is what he did in, you know, in a way. I don't think what he did was wrong. I think it was like, it was not a logistic of what he did. So in my country, in Colombia, they still in lockdown. They still in quarantine.
Wait a minute. Are you a U.S. citizen?
I am.
Why do you say my country, Colombia?
Okay, well, the country that I was born.
Oh,
I have
okay.
the double citizenship.
Oh, okay, so
So-
legitimately you have two
So
passports.
yes, so
Okay.
I have two passports.
They're both your country.
Yeah, so they're both my countries,
Okay.
and I have a double
The
citizenship.
Cubans took my passport, so.
Oh no, no.
I'm a
In my,
product.
in my country, Colombia, where I born, and I came to this country when I was 25 years old. But my country allowed me to have both citizenship.
The communists took mine.
Well, yeah.
Not
my
that I
country
want
is,
it.
yeah.
I don't want to be a citizen of a communist
Yeah,
socialist
so I have double
country.
citizenship, so my country, Colombia, and my country, United States. So in Colombia, they did a tax-free holiday, a tax-free day, which was June 19th.
Juneteenth.
June 19th, yes.
Juneteenth.
Yes, June
Okay.
10th. But they didn't do tax-free only in this, on the mask or the, you know, medical equipment. No, they did a tax-free on everything, you know.
We have those.
We have those
No,
normally.
we had tax-free before school.
Tax-free weekend.
Yeah.
Tax-free weekend, and
Yeah.
it started a long time ago,
Yeah.
like 10 years
Yeah.
or a little bit like that.
Yeah.
And
To
it
help
start-
families.
To help families for back to school.
Yeah.
And I guess now we have twice a year the tax-free holiday. I think so. I'm not sure, but I'm sure at least it's
I'm not
one.
a shopper, I don't know.
Well, at least I know it's one holiday because I go shop for my kids for the school, all the school supplies and the uniforms and everything. So what happened in Colombia? It was June 19, and tax over there in Colombia, they call it IVA, I-V-A, I-V-A. So the tax-free day, everybody went crazy. Everybody went crazy. So you know the Black Friday here,
Yeah.
that everybody started waiting from the day before.
Yeah.
Okay, that was like this in Colombia. So what happened? I don't think it was a bad idea. I think it was a lack of logistic. And I think in my country, we still have a lot of problems with technology. So they don't have all of these things that we have here, the Uber Eats and everything that we can buy, furniture online, we can buy everything pretty much online. They still don't have that accurate, you know, working very well. So what happened after that, you know, the cases went up like
Sure.
crazy, and people, you should see them like going crazy buying electrodomestics and everything. So people were like, okay, wait. So you guys were complaining about no work. You guys were complaining about you don't have anything to eat. So people were donating groceries for them, and then you seen them buying washer and these washer and dryers and.
Well, maybe it's the upper crust that had the money for that.
But this is the first time ever in the history of Colombia that they have a tax-free day. So this is, I think this is an amazing idea, but not like the way.
Well, it's an amazing idea.
It is an amazing idea to tax-free
Oh, tax-free on masks.
on all the medical equipment, everything that is.
You mean, yeah, gloves and
Gloves, yes.
personal protective equipment.
Personal protective, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's an amazing idea. And I think in this country we're more ready for the tax-free
Well,
because we have done that before.
And let me just tell you, I think it's a pro-family idea.
Yeah.
It's pro-working class idea. It's understanding that the middle class is suffering. The wealthy are okay. But the middle class that are unemployed, the waiters and the cooks, the chefs, the hostess at restaurants, the manufacturing company that has scaled back. These are the people that are hurting. And I know it's symbolic, you know, but the fact of the matter is that government is mandating the purchase of the personal protective equipment, including masks, and the least that government could do is to say we have a tax exemption during this emergency, this pandemic.
Correct.
So anyway, we're going to be pushing for that because even though we're conservatives, but we're for the middle class and the hardworking people of this country.
I want to hear what is your feedback, you know, whoever is watching us right now, please ask your questions. Haga sus preguntas en inglés y en español. Ask your questions, please. We want your feedback. What do you think about the mask mandatory again? What do you think about the cases went up? What do you think about the people are also complaining and giving their opinion? Not only complain, but giving your opinion in social media about like, really? So now we have more than 5,000 cases only in Houston, really? And after the government allowed all the protests, and so that was okay? And that, after you guys were struggling opening the economy, and people are still struggling trying to go back.
It is, let me pause you. It is the disingenuous nature of liberal leadership. Two standards. One for everybody and one for their cause. Everybody needs to wear a mask unless you have these spontaneous protests, and even the most vociferous and allegedly articulate proponent of masks was the police chief of Houston, who ripped his mask off his face, high-fived the protesters, and was out in the middle setting an example of, hey, the rules don't apply to us,
yeah,
but they apply to y'all.
But what about the social distancing? Didn't apply either.
Didn't
there
apply.
was no mask applying, it was no social distancing, it was pretty much nothing.
It's
so
the
everybody,
double standard of
standard,
it's the double standard of liberalism. It is the double standard of liberalism. So
now
anyway,
everybody's complaining about
yeah,
cases went up.
Well, cases are going up, and let's look. The scientific data is data. That's never to be disputed. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, you guys don't believe in global warming, now climate change, and all these yada, yada, yada. But the fact of the matter is, in Harris County, where we are, which is Houston, Texas, there's only 8% capacity left in intensive care units throughout the hospitals of this region. 8%. Here's the problem. Not all of those people that are occupying ICU beds are COVID-19, but it is a large percentage. So what happens is that, for example, those of us that are suffering strokes, heart attacks, have car accidents, and legitimate need to be in the ICU are going to be suffering because the ICU will start to be packed by COVID-19 patients who are on ventilators and last a long time. That's what I think government is trying to do. We heard this flattening the curve, and that's exactly what we're trying to do. It's a pandemic, for God's sake. It's a germ that's going to move around, and it's going to do what it's going to do. But, you know, if you follow the rules, if you stay 6 feet apart, if you wash your hands, if you keep them away from your eyes and your nose and your mouth, and you do wear your protective, your chances of contracting the disease are minimal. minimal. So follow the guidelines. Let's not make the guidelines political. I am, you are, and we should all, and you know, here's the other problem. A lot of us are asymptomatic, meaning we're carriers, could be carriers of the virus.
Yeah, we don't
know it.
We don't know.
And I'm passing it to producer John, and I'm passing it on to you, and so we're taking a big risk here. But it is what it is, so these things do help. Anyway, let's get off of COVID-19 and get on to something else.
Okay, what else?
I was just going through some old vintage footage of, and we need to talk about this because we're in the middle of this discussion about racism and inequality in the United States, right? So I went back and I was going through some videos of Malcolm X. And Malcolm X was a leader in the civil rights movement. I'm not an expert, but here I'll give you my opinion. We had several prominent leaders in the civil rights movement in the 50s and 60s. And Malcolm X was a Muslim. And Dr. Martin Luther King was a Christian minister who is a PhD graduate of the School of Theology at Boston University. And so they had a little conflict. But I listened to Malcolm X, and Malcolm X said, of the two political parties, of the two political ideologies in the United States, liberals were the most dangerous to the African American community because he distinguished them and he identified white liberals were foxes, and unlike a wolf, a fox is very dangerous. And so he said that they were no friend of the African American community, that they gave them crumbs. They picked a couple of African American leaders, and this is where I think he got in trouble, and said, you know, they pick some church leaders and elevate them to leaders, and then they don't do anything for the community. And I thought that was really interesting because that was in the 1960s, and here we are 2020, and the African American community still has the same struggles that they did in the 1960s. Some would argue it's even worse because of the utter destruction of the family. Because in the 1950s and 60s, one thing we can say about our African American neighbors is they had a solid family unit. The family was very important. The church was very important to the community. And today, there's been the utter destruction of the African American family. I, as an American, hate to see that. It breaks my heart to see communities suffering and struggling like that. And so, I don't know why that was important, and I wanted to bring that out. I know what I wanted to draw the comparison. The comparison is the Latino community. We are being treated the same way by the liberal left as the African American communities were in the 50s and 60s. The liberals want to give us a bunch of BS, right? Find some political leaders that are the voices of the Latino community, but do nothing for the problems of the Latinos. Hence Biden coming on and talking to Latinos about immigration. Well, they already fed us that bowl of crap back when Obama and Biden were heading up the country. They were the deporters in chief. So the Latino community says, we've seen your leadership. We don't want any more of that. And I think that's exciting. But by the same token, Andrea, conservatives are missing an opportunity to reach out to Latinos, which is something we as a PAC have promoted.
Yeah, but we cannot do it all.
What have we promoted? We have promoted the fact that we understand that both the Republican Party and the Democratic Party in the United States are culpable for the massive numbers of illegal immigrants in this country. Both knew it was happening. Both allowed their Wall Street conglomerates to benefit from low wages in America, depressed the wages for other working Americans. They knew what was going on. These families have made tremendous contributions to this country. There are families that came to this country illegally maybe 3 decades ago. So our proposal is, if you're an undocumented alien and you've never violated the penal code and you have a family in this country, you should apply for a legal status no pathway to citizenship, but you have a legal status, renewable every 5 years, right?
Yep.
And you stabilize the immigrant family. This is an opportunity for conservatives in this country, and no one is stepping up to lead. They all say it's a great idea. Every time I talk to, and I've talked to like,
But you think they're afraid?
yes, they're afraid to lead. This is the problem in America. There's no leadership. So when I go talk to Tea Party officials and I say, we ought to do this, they all go, man, that's a great idea. But no one will lead. No one in Congress or in the state of Texas, which has a huge undocumented population, will lead on the issue because they are afraid. Here's the problem. We haven't had leadership in the U.S. Congress and the U.S. Senate, in the U.S. House of Representatives, which the Senate and the House of Representatives is the Congress, in years. They're happy letting an executive order be law, or they're happy letting the Supreme Court make the law. So that's why DACA, which should have been fixed by the Congress, either legislation in the Senate or the House of Representatives, they're happy to let Obama issue a executive order to be decided 5, 6, 7 years down the line by the Supreme Court. Why doesn't my party, the Republican Party, lead on the issue? That's my question.
I think it's a lot of, they're afraid. They don't, as you said, they don't want to, leadership, but they're more afraid that their own party is going to go against them. And the very conservative, extreme conservative will go against them. So they're afraid. They don't know how to really address the issue. That's what I think.
Well, anyway, so I.
But talking about conservative.
That's what we do. We want to educate,
Yes.
inform, and motivate our conservative Latinos. So that's what this political action committee known as Texas Latino Conservatives is all about.
And talking about conservative, we record one video with you, and we want to play that video every Wednesday when we do TLC Live for people to, for them to send us the video and telling us why they are conservative. So we're going to play your video.
Oh, we did the promo spot.
Yeah, so we're going to play your video first when you're promoting and encouraging people to send us that video, and then we're going to also play a video with our dear friend Edgar Pacheco that he was replacing you.
Well, we're not going to do them back to back, are we?
No.
Okay, first
No.
is the
First
video you and I did.
Yeah, first is your video, and then we come back, we talk a little bit about that, and then we're going to play Edgar Pacheco.
Yeah, this is a commercial that we did, so stand by for the commercial. Hi, I'm Orlando Sanchez, founder of Texas Latino Conservatives. Through our popular Facebook Live broadcast and our statewide teletown halls, we're hearing from conservative Latinos all over Texas telling us why they're conservatives. These stories range from those who've always been liberty-loving, free market conservatives their whole lives, to those who've recently converted, mostly out of fear of the Democrats' far-left agenda. Some have told us that, like me, they fear the same socialist policies they fled when they emigrated to the United States. We'd like to hear from you too. Send us a brief video on why you're a conservative. What is it about the conservative movement that you most identify with? Is it individual responsibility and freedom, pro-business policies, or perhaps the social issues that you better align with? Whatever the reason, we'd like to hear from you directly. Go to www.texaslatinoconservatives.com uploads to send your brief video. Become part of the tens of thousands of conservative Latinos that are proud of their conservative political views. Who knows? We might even contact you to use your video in a promotion for Texas Latino Conservatives. Thank you and have a great day. All right, so there you have it. Andrea was my producer on that commercial.
Producer
so, yeah.
and a photographer, editor, and everything slash.
She's director, producer, photographer, editor, and sound woman.
I do it all. Woman power.
She's a woman of many talents. But anyway, so that's what we're trying to do. Everything is on our webpage. It's TexasLatinoConservatives.com, TexasLatinoConservatives.com. So We appreciate you guys checking us out. We appreciate even more you guys becoming members of the PAC. So you got to speak up. I'm tired of going throughout the state of Texas and hearing everybody say, you know, Mr. Sanchez, we're conservative. Well then, speak up, for God's sake. Don't be,
Don't be afraid.
you know, we have one of the largest ethnic populations in the United States are Latinos, and only like 10% of Latinos vote. So they speak for the rest of y'all. So los abuelos y las abuelas y los padres, por favor, despiértense, inscríbanse, vayan a votar. Go vote. Grandma, grandpa, mom and dad, go vote. We love that your kids are participating, but hey, you know, we need to hear your voice too.
And as what I saying, like woman power, we are the women. We're women. We are the one that decide many things at home, and because we decide so many things at home, we also are the one that encourage and push our family and our friends to go to vote. Like, for example, in my case, I am on top since my dad became a U.S. citizen. I'm like a dad. You need to go and vote, and I go with him and I guide him because you know I know a little bit more of politics than him, so I always guide him. I don't tell him for who to vote, but I guide him and I tell him what is going on. My mom, she has a green card. She's a resident. She has not become a U.S. citizen yet.
What is mom waiting on?
Ah, my poor mom is struggling with the English. That's what is.
But yeah, you know, my mother didn't speak English well. She became a U.S. citizen.
I know, but she needs to wait a little bit more. It's a certain time and certain requirements when you want to do the test or the exam only in Spanish. So she's just waiting a little bit. She's been, look, and I know that she's been doing her best effort because since she came to this country, she always take English classes. But you know, it's like,
It's tough.
como decimos, loro viejo no aprende a hablar.
Exactly. I was just going to say, my father immigrated here when he was 55 years of age, and he never really was able to grasp, have full command of the English language. Even though I immigrated to this country when I was 3 years old, and Spanish was my primary language, kids are like sponges, right? We absorb languages
yeah, it's different
easily.
at that age.
You know, I grew up being perfectly bilingual, and but yeah, Dad struggled with it. But that shouldn't prevent your mother from applying for U.S. citizenship.
No, she already applied,
Okay,
but
good.
she failed the test because of her English. So she's waiting for the moment that she can do the test in
Well,
Spanish.
I will help her. Tell her to hang
With
out with
English?
me. I need another voter in case I run for office
Oh
again.
God! But anyway,
I lose races by, you know, a very slim margin, so every vote counts.
But anyway, I always even my ex-husband, I go like, hey, do you vote? Even with my ex-husband, I'm like, hey, do you vote?
Yeah.
With you know, I mean, it's very important for everybody to encourage their families and their neighbors and their friends to go to vote. And I think this year we're gonna be surprised. I think this year we're gonna.
You know, I've made a prediction. Let me
records.
predict again. I know the national media loves to put out these nationwide surveys that President Trump is 14 points behind Joe Biden. First of all, let me educate you. We don't vote on a national basis, right? Elections are held by each state, and each state selects electors to the Electoral College. So yes, it is true that Hillary Clinton got more popular votes than President Trump.
Yeah.
But President Trump got more Electoral College votes. That's how we select our president. We don't vote for Joe Biden or Donald Trump. We vote for a slate of electors that go do their business after the November election and cast their vote for the person that their state voted for. So we have a representative form of government. We don't directly elect our president. So don't get fooled by these national surveys that are meant to discourage conservatives, discourage Latinos that are supporting the conservative candidate for president. Stay at it. And so here's my prediction. If the liberals don't ruin the economy, which is what they're trying to do, right? Using COVID or using riots or using, you know, whatever excuse they want to use, because the economy was humming. So if the economy does get back close to what it used to be, and people are feeling confident about the economy, I think the president gets reelected. I've always said that this president will be reelected with the help of particularly the Latino community. There are a lot of Latinos that support this president. Interestingly, the number of African Americans supporting this president, actually shocking to me, is increasing.
It's shocking to me when I saw him in Tulsa. You know, the crowd.
I said the same thing.
It was a lot of African American, and I was like, I was watching this with my son.
Now, a lot of people are going to say they were paid.
And
Do you think they were
cowboy, I mean, like cowboy Republican in this city, and we were like, wow.
But do you think they were, like the liberals will say, they were paid? It was staged. Do you think it was staged, or do you think that was genuine?
No, I think it was.
Genuine?
Yeah, it was for real.
Yeah, I have, I have a lot of African American friends that detest President Trump, but I have a lot that, say he's not the most articulate, and sometimes he really does say things he shouldn't say.
I try to do like this.
But exactly.
So
but he is what he is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he never hid who he was. I mean, so now they have this whole slate of, Republicans that are endorsing Joe Biden. Oh, for God's sake. Well, they did that before, right? There was a whole slate of Republicans that endorsed Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
So, again, if the economy comes back, I think this president is going to be saved by minorities. I hate the word minorities because we're all Americans. This is a liberal word. I'm not a minority. But that's what they call us. So let's appease the liberals. We minorities are, of conservative bent, may surprise you guys. Both, Latino minorities and African American minorities, because we've seen what an unleashed economy, what unleashed capitalism can do. And I think everybody was really enjoying it. And I do think that despite this pandemic, everybody wants to get back to where we were at the end of last year, where unemployment was extremely low. There were more Latinos, more African Americans, more women working in this country than have ever worked.
Yeah.
We want to get back to that. And I don't see that the liberal left proposes that. I see they propose riots. I see that they propose division of the country. I see that they propose, taking over institutions. I see that they're proposing.
They look desperate.
They're desperate.
That's what I feel.
It's crazy. And the other thing that I always say is that the liberal media loves to portray, this is what Malcolm X said, that the white liberal is no friend of the African American community. The liberal media in this country loves to portray the African American community as rioters and thugs, when you and I know, because we live in Houston, one of the most diverse cities in the nation, that our African American community, like our Latino community, most of us, 99% of us, are at home trying to feed our families, working every day, paying taxes, going to church on Sunday, and enjoying being free Americans. That's what we conservatives believe.
Yeah.
And the liberal left can't stand that. And so, as Andrea said, they're desperate. It's riots, it's tearing down statutes, it's breaking its institutions, it's destroying capitalism, it's attacking, law enforcement.
And I don't think the African American community wants to be identified with that.
Of course not. Of course not. And I'm thinking to myself, we just elected in the county that I'm in a Colombian, una compatriota tuya, like Lina Hidalgo. There's a picture of Lina Hidalgo, the county judge of Harris County, third largest county, marching in un desfile with a sign says abolish ICE. The largest law enforcement agency in the United States, the woman that was just elected to lead this county wants to abolish the largest law enforcement agency, which, by the way, you know what immigration and border patrol agents do along the border most of the time? They save lives.
Oh, yeah.
They serve more as emergency medical technicians,
I saw them.
medevac helicopters. They save the
They
lives
always
of
have
immigrants.
food and water.
They always have food and water. If you see any immigration truck in the back, it is fully staffed with medical equipment, water, and intravenous bags.
But do the media show that?
Never. And Lena Hidalgo wants to abolish that. Unbelievable. Don't get me going.
Okay, so now, talking about elections, November 3rd, we have one of the candidates and very dear friend of us to the Texas Latino Conservatives.
Of ours.
Yes. Of ours. In the Texas Latino Conservative, and also my co-host when Orlando Sanchez abandoned me. So,
which is rare.
So Edgar Pacheco was with me last Wednesday, and he did a great job. And he loves to be a host of the TLC Live. So after that, I record him saying why he is conservative. And he has a really good story, and he shared with us pictures of his family and pictures when he was a baby, and this is beautiful.
Now, and let's give a little background. Mr. Pacheco is how old?
He's 18, and he said it in the video. That's why I don't want to say everything.
Okay.
He talks about
it all.
He talks about it all.
Roll the video, Mr. Producer.
Hello, my name is Edgar Pacheco Jr. I am 18 years old, and I am currently running to be the next school board trustee in Pearland ISD for position number 2. And today I want to talk why I'm conservative. First of all, I'm pro-life. When my mom was pregnant with me at 16 weeks old, I was diagnosed with tetra amelia, which is the absence of the 4 limbs. And the doctors, the first thing that they recommended to her was to terminate the pregnancy. Thank God, for my family, that was not a choice. However, there are plenty of children out there who are being aborted, and that is unacceptable. I believe that all life is sacred. On top of that, I believe that the government exists for the people and by the people. I believe in individual liberty. I believe in the right to worship wherever you are. I believe in the right to worship even in the midst of difficult circumstances. I believe that small businesses should be able to prosper without the interference of overbearing government regulation. I believe that everyone has the opportunity to succeed without government intervention. Thank you so much.
Give me the finger. All right, so we're back. I hope they didn't hear that. I was talking to our producer,
when you say,
John.
give me the finger, is not the finger when people think give me the finger, it's like give me the thumbs up.
Yeah, so I told John, give us the thumbs up.
Because it's a little bit delay when we see it here and when it's on the air.
So that's a great video. This is a fantastic, inspirational young man.
You mean good editing?
And great editing, great film work. But Edgar Pacheco is an inspiration to every Texan. This is a man that, as you can see from his physical presence, that he has some barriers. But as a conservative, he's grateful that his immigrant Mexican parents and dad came to the United States, and he has had the opportunity to receive an education, to participate in the political process, and you know, to spend a few minutes with Edgar is like no bad days,
oh my
right?
God, it's like priceless.
Edgar is like an inspiration because there are no bad days. He's positive, he's optimistic, he's enthusiastic. He is a firm believer in America, our principles, and he wants to share that with the world.
And once you talk to him, you don't see anything that physically, nothing. It's just like his brain is brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah. So he's a great guy, and you know, we want to share these stories with you because this is typical of our young Latinos in Texas. Not what you see on television, not the leftist, revolutionary Che Guevara wannabes. Edgar Pacheco is the future of Texas. Edgar Pacheco is going to be a leader in Texas. And so As Andrea and I travel the state of Texas, whether we go to El Paso, whether we go to Kinney County in Bracketville, Texas, El Paso, or even Maverick County in Eagle Pass, Texas, we find conservative leaders just like this young man. We find conservative leaders like Mayra Flores down in the Brownsville area. If you haven't checked out Mayra's Facebook page, go check it out. Mayra posted a video the other day. As of yesterday, it had 495 shares, 5,700 views. I'm telling you guys, the state of Texas is replete. It is full of young Latino immigrant conservatives that understand that socialism, that the left, that Marxist Leninists are not the way for our families. And so that's what our PAC does. We try to educate, we try to motivate, and we inspire young conservative Latinos to seek public office, to become the future of this state. Because if they're elected, if they're involved, our state and our country will be in great hands. And so we're going to bring you a lot of people like Edgar Pacheco, like Mayra Flores, like the young lady that was arrested by a raid because she went to work down in McAllen, was it?
In Laredo.
In Laredo, Texas, because the mayor thought
Brenda.
It was important to arrest Brenda, an 18, 19-year-old college student, because she was working to provide for her family. So they ran a sting operation and arrested Brenda, a young Latina daughter of immigrants, because, you know, government knows best. And so we honor people like Edgar, like Mayra Flores, like Brenda. And next week we hope to have a young man by the name of Johnny Uribe.
No, next week we're going to have Carolina Jimenez. She is a doctor. Carolina Jimenez, she is PhD in psychologist.
Oh God, I need one.
Yeah, I know that. That's why I'm bringing her. And she is willing to be here with us, and she's willing to treat you.
Okay.
Right away.
So after I go through therapy next week, I know that we're going to have Johnny Uribe, who heads up, what is it, Young Conservatives
Young
of
Conservatives
Texas?
for Texas.
At Texas State? No, at, what's the?
Sam Houston.
Sam Houston State University.
He has criminal justice. He
Yeah.
studied criminal justice.
So
We were supposed to have him today, but the bad weather prevent him to come because he lives a little bit
no,
far
he
away.
said he was under the weather. Under the weather. That means he wasn't feeling well. See, I have to explain these things to Andrea. These.
It was not
under the weather
weather
in English means I don't feel bad.
Oh, but it.
I mean, I feel bad. It
No,
wasn't because
but
it
he
was
said
raining.
it was also because raining. That's what he told.
Okay.
That's what he explained to me.
Anyway, we're going to have Johnny Uribe talk to you. So we're going to have all these young conservative Latinos from every corner of Latin America who are proud U.S. citizens. Many of them, some of them, you know what we need to do is we need to find some DACA kids.
Oh.
Those are pretty magnificent kids that are, you know, making contributions
Let's
to
find
this
them.
country. Let's find some.
I can
if
find
you're a we have several DACA recipients.
Oh, well, you know what I'm gonna do? No, we're not necessarily you want have them in the Facebook Live, but you want me to record video and we play the video?
No, we ought to have some DACA kids. We ought to have a round table with some DACA kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can do that.
We can do that.
Perfect.
All right, look, we've been on the air for an hour, so it's time to let everybody get back to work.
So go to TexasLatinoConservative.com. Please become a member, support us, and we also have information in English and Spanish about COVID-19 and other things that is going on in the city, in our community, and that concerns our Latino community. So por favor visítenos en la página de internet TexasLatinoConservatives.com. También síganos en Facebook, síganos en Instagram y también en YouTube. Por favor dele like, dele follow us, así podemos crecer nuestra familia de Texas Latino Conservatives.
Y acuérdense que siempre estamos aquí disponibles para ayudarlos a ustedes. Nosotros estamos organizados precisamente para educar, para convencer y motivar a los latinos que participen en el proceso político, porque nosotros tenemos millones y millones de habitantes en este país, pero lamentablemente un porcentaje muy pequeño deciden el futuro de nuestras familias y nuestros hijos. Y nosotros queremos imbuyarlos a ustedes que se inscriban a votar y que dejen saber al pueblo sus valores conservadores, que nosotros sabemos que todas las familias latinas somos conservadores. No somos lo que los medios lo quieren presentar, que somos izquierdistas, que somos anti-inmigrante. Nosotros somos todos inmigrantes, así que nosotros estamos aquí para apoyar a la comunidad. Los invitamos que se hagan miembros del PAC. We're here to educate, to motivate, and inspire the Hispanic community. We know that the majority of Latinos in this country are conservatives, so we need everybody to come out of the woodwork and share your views, run for office, become precinct chairs, help us lead this great country in the future. So, until next week.
See you next week.
See you next
Wednesday. Nos vemos pronto la próxima semana, el próximo miércoles a las 11 de la mañana, más o menos. Chao, chao.